Hey, what's up,
Big,
guys? This is the
big,
small big.
big, small
Oh, sorry,
cast.
yeah, the big small cast. We should do it where we reverse it. So it's like it's the and then you
Yeah,
say small big and I say big small.
that's exactly what I was thinking of. Is basically having it so that we never say the title right. I put in
Mm,
the
mm.
description of the channel how we're going to be talking about big things and small things, but they all matter just the same. Size doesn't matter, bro.
Oh yeah, man. I agree with that. I feel sometimes
Size doesn't
people's
matter.
problem uh like people are like, oh, I have it worse, but then in reality, it's like you don't know how someone else can take things because we all take things differently. Some people can take things in ways that are you know pain tolerant, emotionally and physically.
Yeah,
Someone can break their knees and not think much of it, and someone can have the worst time of their life, feel like they're dying just because of that amount of pain. So it's all subjective.
mm. We're going to be
Yeah.
figuring out how the editing and recording everything is here. It looks like my computer almost froze, but it's not frozen. I know it's not because this is what happened last time. It looks like it froze, but it doesn't.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Regardless of the fact. Um, Nah, jokes aside, the whole reason I had for starting this whole thing is I really just had a lot of ideas and thoughts in my mind that I really just wanted to get out there, and I kind of just wanted to almost in a way just put myself out there in a sense and kind of just see what other people thought. If
Hmm.
anybody out there would give me any kind of feedback, I don't know. But regardless, it doesn't really matter, I guess, too much where this goes. But I thought it'd be an interesting thing to do just to see where
It
that
is.
goes. But
One second, just putting pill so
just
it deaden the sound.
recognize that in this day and age, the things you can or cannot say, there will be things that we say but cannot be said, and we have to show proper respect. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
No, no, I know.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Um,
Also, I feel like you shouldn't be too afraid to say some things because
yeah, it's no biggie.
then you're muting yourself. You know what I mean? Like you're not expressing yourself fully.
Yeah, let me tell you about how I feel about all these people. Fuck these people. Nah, I'm not saying.
Yeah. No,
I'm not
like
saying that.
if you have a feeling towards something like, oh, I fuck all these kind of people, like racist or how it may be, some people can be like, oh, I have a different point of view of it, or
Yes, I see where you're going. But anyways, what you were talking about before, you said you got a text message. You got a text message
oh
from
yeah,
this
so
girl.
yeah, I'm basically like, I think it's kind of sometimes we get mad and we put such anger on other people, but at the end,
But
it's like,
but you should explain what was going on with this person. Like, who is this person to you? For anybody who
all
doesn't
right,
know
I'll
what's
go
going
in
on with
depth.
this.
So pretty much how it was. It's funny because you know the story, and I'm just repeating it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, don't tell me. So
Okay,
go on,
okay.
bro.
Um, so pretty much is like I had a friend. Well, this girl was just a friend with benefit, and I saw her about I think 7 times. I can't really remember how many times I've seen her, and every time I saw her,
Mhm.
we we smashed. Um, and like there were some we talked about some things, but nothing too in depth. Nothing that's like she didn't know me that much. And then basically, I kind of it was coming about Ramadan, and I just kind of cut her off because I was actually seeing someone else, and they were more worth it in my eyes at the
Okay.
time. And so I just cut her off. And then the girl was like, at the end, she like, because I ignored her for like, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks. And then she called me like, hey, did I do something wrong? And I was like, no, you didn't. It's fine. And then she's like, okay. And out of nowhere, I think she said, I forgot it was in text or no, it was when on the phone. She's like, oh, I have feelings for you. And it's like at the beginning, this is what she wanted. She just wanted to be friends and smash. And that's all it was. And that's what we both planned on. So she's like, oh, I have feelings. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be an asshole and just, like, you know, be rude to her. So I made a lie. And I was like, "Oh, like I'm busy and I'm just taking time myself," which in a way I actually was. And I just like I just want to be to myself. I don't want to do anything. And then yeah, like after that 1 month, she texted me and I called her and we talked and she's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. We were just, And I was like, "Okay, that's good." I mean, because I was like, whatever, I didn't care. And then time passes by and I get a text like filled with like anger, being like, "Oh, what did she say?" She's like, basically like
Fuck
you're a
you,
lot.
bitch.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. She's like, "You're a lying piece of shit. I know what you did, what you did. Um, no wonder no one wants to be with you, and you're just like your daddy. And I was like, okay. And I think when people want to
Like
like
your daddy, bro.
just like your daddy, and I was like, okay, girl. Like some people throw some shit like shade like that, and I'm like how hard, like the fact that you want to send that kind of energy towards somebody, it's like you're actually hurting yourself more than the other person. Because like when you anger yourself so much, you're really inflicting pain upon yourself. Um, that's why
I
like I
don't
don't. Sometimes like unless it's not always like this, but I'm just saying like if it's to someone where you don't have to worry about it, not an everyday problem, more like I don't know, just like an ex or an ex friend. You know, if you're mad and you have a lot of emotion
yeah.
contained inside of you, but for you to put that on someone else is like it just shows that you're hurt. And not to say that I've never done that. I mean, of course I've done that where I got mad or I was annoyed by something and I would just throw anger at someone else because I had such strong emotions of it.
Yeah, there's moments where anger can be misdirected against people that don't really deserve it or people that it's just not a good way to go about doing things. And I honestly sometimes probably get a lot of anger issues, but I don't know, I don't really get angry at people that often. I just get angry at situations, I think. I don't know
Mhm.
if there's anybody else who could relate to something like this, but I
No,
mean,
I understand where you're
uh,
coming
uh,
from.
like it's the people and the situations, I guess, that you could say that caused it, but I'm just like there'll be moments in my life to where something will go wrong or it's
Yeah.
like I'm working hard towards something and then it just all shits the bed and I'm just like fuck this. Like fuck. I'm just so pissed. I'll play you can play a video games or you can go to school and fuck up a test and then or something and I don't know. Just
Yeah,
things
no,
that get
just
in
the
the way.
things that frustrate
It's
you.
difficult. Sometimes I just get pissed whenever my mom calls. I'm just like, oh
Oh
my
yeah.
god. Yeah.
Like when we were at the beach, were you like pissed?
No,
Like,
my mom didn't call at the beach. No,
she texted you, didn't she?
no. I think she
Uh,
tried to call me, but I was too busy.
yeah,
That's
no,
what
that's
it
what I
was.
meant. Did
Yeah,
that
but
bother?
there.
Seeing that, did that bother you?
Nah, it's no biggie. No biggie about
Mm.
that stuff. Um, how's your school going? Actually, how's your school going? How's that going so far? Because I know right now for students like us, it's a really weird time, and
Oh yeah,
how
man, it is.
it's like it's almost as if it's like an easy grace period in a way because honestly the ability to cheat and the ability to just how reduced a lot of this material is, it's kind of just like
Mhm.
a lot of people are getting almost like I'm concerned about a lot of people just getting a lot of freebies right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how many people are gonna, get through certain courses easily
Honestly,
because of this,
yeah.
but
Honestly, I feel like with the course I'm doing, I wish I was in class. And even though I could cheat, I don't really want to because it's like I don't know the material. Like I don't want to go to school just to get a degree, which of course I do, but I want to go knowing that I learned a lot of things or I
yeah.
got an education where I can because I want to be a mechanical engineer. So this is not something I can
Hmm.
just kind of you know dismiss. Like a lot of things that I'm learning are actually going to be applicable to my future jobs or
Yeah,
projects.
exactly. And if you don't, or if you aren't a master of those things, it's like, who the hell are you? Like, bruh, you serious,
Yeah,
bro?
and even like you're gonna
Yeah.
make a lot of mechanical engineers or engineers in general tend to stray away from a business and start to make something of themselves or make something some sort of project.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that, it's like you have to have the knowledge and it's gained through experience, but also from studying in school. So if I don't have that, it's like I would not be able to do that, and that would be a big limitation on me. So to get back to your question,
Cool.
um, yeah, uh, it's definitely tough, and I'd much rather have it in person. For many reasons, like I can ask questions to the
Yeah.
professor. Things are a lot easier. I think if it's in person, when you go to school, you're in the environment. When you're at home, it's a lot easier to get distracted and mess around and just not really stay focused. And I know a lot of people have difficulty with that. And Like, didn't you don't you I remember you telling me you were having difficulty with studying at home or just doing schoolwork.
Yeah,
Is that still the case?
there's probably a lot of people who probably relate to what it was, but it's like there's certain people who have managed it, and I think I'm starting to learn how to manage it. But
Mm.
even before the whole coronavirus happened, COVID-19 or whatever you want to call it, it happened, and everybody was kind of locked inside and had to do everything indoors. There's a lot of people out there who already study a lot at home and can do it quite efficiently. Um, and before the whole situation of COVID-19, I mostly found myself like going outside of school because I just ended up seeing that home was kind of like this place where I had all these distractions. I had a cell
Yeah.
phone with YouTube, I had Instagram, Twitter, I had, my computer, and just everything that I would just felt like I would rather do when I'm there. So I felt like, okay, I need to go to the library and kind of grind this out and study that way. And then this whole situation happens and I'm not able to do it anymore. And now I'm stuck at home. And now the place that I'm absolutely like, I suck at studying and trying to
Yeah.
remain focused and dedicated at home because I have all these distractions. I ended up probably for the better of my future in a way. I mean, some people with all the time to be introspective and to think about a lot of things during these times and being locked inside, people are going crazy. They are people are creating creative ways to kind of manage themselves. And that's kind of what I ended up having to do. I had to kind of figure out what was the best way for me to study, be it like I know study in a specific room. I had to do a lot of research about effective study methods, how you got to create an effective study space. And there's a lot of videos online that I'd recommend people to like kind of search study tips. Things that really work for me is like,
Mhm.
well, it was a slow process. I kind of had to build it up, and you could probably attribute this to almost any type of thing that you're trying to dedicate yourself towards. Is that
Most
I had
definite.
I had to start really, really slow and slowly build my efficiency up as time went on because there'd be moments to where I'd study for like 20 minutes and then fucking just watch like an hour's worth of YouTube videos and just be like, "Oh my god, like I haven't done anything." And I would do that all day until it gets to like 11, 12, and I'm like, "Oh, today was such a bad day." Tomorrow
Y
though, tomorrow's
you
going to
know
be a
you
good
know
day.
to
And
be fair, I don't have as bad as you, but I tend to get distracted for, like, hours and hours, and,
everybody I
um
think has that. I think a lot of people our
yeah.
age I mean, I don't know. Actually, I'm not even that sure. But I mean, maybe some people out there. I don't know how prevalent it is, but I definitely have that issue to where I get so distracted doing other things or just doing something that's so like immediate. It's like YouTube and all these things that are just so immediately satisfying.
Mhm.
It's really not healthy. And
To be fair, with the not everyone knows what you're doing, but the dopamine detox, I think, especially at this
dopamine
moment.
detox. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
for
was thinking of talking about that. I was interested in talking about that. I had a really good conversation with our friend Carnvier, who's living out in Alberta right now.
yeah.
Last night actually, I
Oh,
talked to
really?
him for
Wow.
like an hour. Yeah,
Hmm.
just a pretty profound conversation. Although I wouldn't call it a conversation, more like what I usually do. And I just talk for an hour and everybody listens, and then afterwards they're like, "That's dope, dude," and then they just move along.
Yeah. They're like,
I'm
"Wow,
like,
that's sick." Anyways.
I'm like, the meaning of life. I think this is it. And they're like, that's dope. That's dope, bro.
So, anyways, I'm gonna smoke some weed.
Or I'm just gonna, keep suffering in my
Yeah.
sadness. You know what I'm saying?
Well, honestly, man, everyone has their own journey, and it's hard
Yeah,
to tell someone else to like, even if something's so toxic to themselves, or whatever. If something is toxic to them, they will not let it go because it makes them feel good for a temporary fact. And it can be anything from like drugs to relationships to
yeah,
just holding on to things that are unnecessary.
yeah,
But
exactly.
far as the just to get back on the topic, just far as the dopamine detox, when you're talking about how right now for you you watch YouTube and it's an immediate satisfaction. uh
Yeah,
I think especially now, since there you don't really like, if we talk about jerking off, that's very like a immediate dopamine
yeah.
effect. And
Pornography addiction is like a
oh
big
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
That's
so
something that really. people don't really talk about it and look at it a lot of the times in such a negative light. Like there's like
Mhm.
at a certain point in my life, I almost disagreed with people when they would say, I don't know if that was just me trying to rationalize it
It was,
or
I
if
think.
it was just because I was super ignorant to the fact. But there was a lot of
I think it was
people
a
out
bit of
there.
both.
It's, I mean, probably, but at that point, there was points in my life to where I was like, nah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
But then, just like any type of addiction, you can end up finding yourself like there's going to be a lot of men and maybe some women out there who, you know, could watch this every single day and just do it on a routinely basis. And then, it's in a sense like it's hard to describe because in moderation everything can be used effectively. I believe I think I believe that. But things certain things are easier to abuse than others, and just being able to search up something on your phone and having free infinite access to it, and just being able to do that whenever you want, there was moments to where at after, there's, I don't know if there's some people who will listen to this and maybe have gone through moments like this, but you know when you develop a certain type of addiction for so long, be it drugs, pornography, or any type of addiction, you
Mhm.
develop a kind of resistance to it. And then everything kind of just means a lot less. That's why there's guys out there smoking like 50 joints, eating like 1,000 milligrams of THC, and just being like, yep, I'm great. I'm great. This is my regular. And, they spend so much time and money just trying to maintain this addiction. And it dedicates so much of their time and energy towards it to where at some point at towards like the later years, because I had kind of just had watched pornography and just had my regular routine for you know like years, like ever since I was a young kid. And
Yeah, man. That shit is addicting.
towards the later years, it's like it meant absolutely nothing. It basically was just like, you know something I'd had to do, and it brought me no joy. It became less of about something that was good for me, that made me feel
Mhm.
good, and it just became something I had to do. And then,
Like a chore.
a chore, it's just so it's like a routine. It's just something I got to do. And then there's moments towards the end of before I started trying to like detox myself from all this shit. Coronavirus was the main catalyst for me doing this, but even before I was kind of like, why am I even doing this anymore? Like, I don't feel anything out of this. Like, I don't feel good at all. I feel like shit afterwards, and I kind of am like just growing. What I don't know how to describe it. I'm growing content with myself right now, and I was in,
Okay.
and I was kind of going in this low place, and it's really not a good idea to grow content with your own misery because some people are self-deprecating, and you could say I was self-deprecating, and um, you just, your life's really bad and there's bad things going on in your life, and you just kind of accept them to be as they are, and you kind of just almost belittle yourself for being weak, and you kind of somehow enter this cycle of just reusing and over and over and over again. And not just pornography, but just a lot of things. And even now, I'm trying to still figure out a lot of these things. Like, it's still a process, life's a process. And I don't know if anybody can take what I went through and maybe kind of apply it to themselves. I hope someone could maybe hear this and think maybe, see, I don't know, like connect it to themselves in a way, and then
Yeah.
maybe see how they can maybe attribute it to their own life, because everybody's different and everybody will deal with things in their own way. But definitely during this whole beginning of the coronavirus, there was just this moment to where it's like, stuff needs to change, just things need to change, and I need to kind of be different, um, and just make some changes. And I kind of just started doing that. Yeah.
And do you feel like you regret that addiction was a part of your life back then? Like, would you have done something differently if you can go back in time?
Uh, I mean, that's a weird question then to ask. I don't know how I would answer that question because would I go back and change anything? Um,
No, that's a deeper question. To be fair, I think a lot of us would.
um, I think if I had to think about it honestly, I think about the what you become and what you are now is always a constant. How do I describe it? I'm trying to put it into words. It's like
Like all the
you're
mistakes and everything you've done is who you are and
you're
what.
yeah, you're a constant amalgamation of all the things you've done. And if I ever changed anything that I've ever done in the past, I wouldn't be who I am now. And I think as I've reached this point now, I'm kind of accepting of who I am now. But I'm not happy with who I am. I still want to be so much better. But I don't think I would want to stop any type of mistake or terrible thing that happened to me because a nice way to look at all the things that have happened to me or things that happen to people is you look at them as something you've overcome and you look at them as things that you can learn from because I mean that at the end of the day is what kind of I won't get too into it now maybe because I don't want to be talking too much. I feel like I want to share the space here
No,
because
no, you are. To be fair, right at the start, I think you asked me a question, and that's why
it's
like I just kind of went in.
it's an
I
because I know sorry to interrupt you again, but I
no,
know
that's
that I
okay.
can go on tirades and that's what I don't want to be the type of guy who goes on tirades.
Well,
That just might be my character, but
to
that's
be fair, I think if you have like you don't have to worry about cutting me off personally. And because this is a conversation, so it's a toggle. We can go back and forth. Far as like
feel free to
me,
interject whenever you want. When
yeah,
I'm
of course.
saying a bunch of stuff, just interject, cut in, just cut me off, and I'll be like, awesome. I should
Well,
stop.
I usually just wait for kind of an opportunity, just in general,
Yeah, yeah,
not only with you, because it's like someone's because to be fair, like if you're telling a story, you want to be thorough and really give the most depth possible. It's as if you're telling a story, you want to say every small detail does make a difference. You know, if it was a sunny day, if it was what time it was, the weather, what you're wearing, how
yeah.
you're feeling. You know, so I
In a
don't think it's about.
podcast format, it's probably going to be something that'll be beneficial for people to interrupt me more often. I
Okay,
feel
yeah,
like
I can
so
definitely.
I
I've
can
seen
do
that.
that.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, I'll interrupt your ass. That's no problem, baby."
I'll do my
Um,
best not to be that guy because I want everybody to have their opportunity to say their words and give their 2 cents.
yeah, of
Uh,
course. I was literally about to say 2 cents. I was like, you're ready to say their 2 cents.
yeah.
Um,
So
and just know that not everyone's gonna really talk just as much as we are. Um, personally, when I was when I'm talking in this kind of in a way, it's like a third person, but not really, because I'm seeing how someone else would hear me and hear you. So when we say because you know like if we're like our if we say Carnveer, we know who we're talking about. When you're like my friend
yeah.
in Carnveer in Alberta, who's my friend, it's like oh we have to give the full spectrum of it.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the part of it. We have to figure out and learn to do that. We got to describe it because we know so much about each other already. We gotta, and there's people who don't know.
yeah,
We
it's
gotta
like oh
fill in
Eden,
the
remember
gap.
that time? And I'm like oh my god, that time was crazy. I'm like dude, would you do it again? You're like yeah. And it's like, people are like what are you talking about? What time?
Yeah,
When was
what
this?
time? What moment was that? Yeah,
Yeah, it's like dude, remember when you ran out of taxi and you're just going crazy, bro? And everyone's like whoa.
yeah. I haven't
Um,
come to this place from and having it be easy. I didn't come to this place very easily. You know what I'm saying? I did.
what place? What are you talking about?
I haven't gotten to the point where I am now by just lollygagging and jump roping and skipping and being all dandy and shit. I had to trudge through the mud. You know what I'm saying? I had to do some shit
Of
that
course.
was difficult, which we'll probably get into a lot of the times. We'll get into a lot of interesting topics as we go on. A lot of things. So I think we'll get deep with this because I'm certainly willing to go balls deep. So
Oh, bro, I'll leave the nuts hanging out and balls
Hodge
deep
twins,
action. Yeah,
leave, leave the nuts hanging out.
I'll leave the nuts hanging
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I was watching a video like that today, and just those guys are fucking hilarious. If anybody
dude.
hasn't watched Hodge Twins and you just want to see some fucking hilarious, provocative dudes, funny as fuck, I'd recommend
Yeah,
anybody should watch it.
and also some somewhat great advice at times.
Sometimes good advice, yeah.
It's like, dude, this girl broke my heart. Leave her.
Fuck that bitch. It's just like,
You know
okay.
what you do? You find her best friend, fuck her raw.
And you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
You're like, okay, okay.
okay, okay.
Yeah, but
So
when I think it's fine if you want to cut me off and other people cutting off. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. If you are, you're just like, oh, dude, you're a pussy, pussy. Also maybe get a pop filter, pop filter.
yeah, as we're going on, we're getting more and more
Oh my
equipment.
god, it's just
And
calling me. Hold up, hold up. Oh my god, I'm gonna mute myself.
nah,
Sorry,
bro.
just speak up.
Well,
Hold up.
you're actually gonna answer the call.
Yeah, one sec. What?